Hello everyone and welcome on this new episode of my renovation project. That's a little introduction to my hands-on cockerel, which will hopefully soon will be at the house. At the moment they are still in the place I am currently renting. Thanks Django for this little interlude. I'm still vanless. I still don't have transport of my own at the moment, and so it's been quite complicated to get in and out of my new house and try to get some work done and stuff. But anyway, so it was also a lot of rain in the last months, as you can see. Yeah, but I did manage to do a bit of work here and there. I tried to stay like 3 days in a row for a couple of weeks, but I have missed maybe, I don't know, easily 2 or 3 weeks of work because of not having a car or my van. But it's on demand. Hopefully I will have it back during the week. So on that very wet day, I went to the shed and noticed that little pool forming at the bottom of the foundation and the back wall of the shed, which was a little bit worrying to me. So I went at the back when the rain eased up a bit. I went at the back of the shed outside and started digging, thinking I will dig below the foundation, and I hit this concrete path, I guess, some sort of little concrete path past the foundation. So I spent the day doing a bit of digging. And anyway, I reached the full length of that concrete path, and so I thought it would be good probably to do that so the water wouldn't sit so much on the earth, and instead will be just flowing down the hill past the foundation. And that's it. This little path is all cleared up now. Still very muddy, but I cleaned it up a bit with water after all. And yeah, the water's flowing very easily through it now. So I'm glad I did it. It was definitely a good thing to do. But I noticed the next day, after another load of heavy rain, that there is still water coming through my wall. And yeah, it is a bit of a problem, but I think it's probably due to the lack of gutter now. One bit of the steel roof is a bit shorter than the rest, and I think the water is probably hitting the wall before the ground really. So that's probably why there is that leak. So yeah, I will add a gutter, and of course I'll repatch the back of the wall wherever I see gaps through the stones, and that will be in time, of course. But yeah, hopefully put a bit of lime on the wall, and that will help too at some point. Now this path is all cleared up, and the water will be running down easily. And I made a massive new pile of mud. And 2 weeks later, completely different type of weather. And yeah, it was, I spent 3 days in a row there at the house with Django, just me and him. And I had no car, so it was just really nice just to be stuck here at the house. And on bonus, it was 3 beautiful days of, yeah, nice and warm and sunny. So everything is flourishing and the tomatoes are growing, nasturtium are just in full bloom. Yeah, it's just very, very beautiful. Down the garden as well, all the veg are in really nice. Some of them had overgrown. Broccolis and cauliflower just past their best, which is a shame because, yeah, not being able to come in 2 weeks makes a big difference in the garden. Anyway, it's been, yeah, these 3 days were just magnificent. And that's it, the front of the house, and back near the shed is all tidied up. Yeah, nice fresh smell of cut grass in the air. 2 weeks previous, on the muddy week, I started clearing all these big concrete blocks from the pile of earth that the digger had moved. Yeah, I would like this big pile there on the right hand side to be moved at some point and reuse that earth for, for something to grow flowers or something. But it's mixed with lots of rubbish and concrete and pipes and whatnot. So after digging up this little path behind the shed, I noticed that the ditch was hanging dangerously over our head when we walk by, So I decided to soften a bit the edge and make the ditch not as steep, really. So that's what I'm doing there, just breaking down this ditch. And my little robin friend there is just delighted for all the digging. He's filling up his belly. He's looking pretty fat right now. My little concrete path all cleared up is now back full of earth. More work to do. I get easily distracted and before clearing my little path of all that earth I just digged, I just decided to build these stone steps that I have had in mind for some time now, and I had enough rocks to work on that, and enough earth and mud to fill up the gap really. So I spent a full day working on these steps. You need a haircut? Look at you. Do you need a haircut? Oh. Where's your stick? That's it. Ouf là. So I ended up redoing the last step because it just didn't work for me. The stone I used was a bit too rounded and not flat enough, and it was too wobbly as well. It took me a few goes finding the right stone, and I was getting a bit impatient at that point. One stone missing, and I can't find one who fits. Ugh. frustrating. Hopefully this is the one. Let's see. And yes, that was the one good stone. Yeah, after clearing all the steps from the extra unneeded stone there, that's what we're left with. 4 steps, and they are all pretty sturdy, I should say. I will still have to clear up this big batch of earth now, but yeah, I was just very happy with this. Much easier to come up and down that little corner now. I know the rain will settle them all down and stop the little bit of wobble here and there, but to be honest, they are fairly sturdy. And on that last morning of me being at the house, I cleared up the mess I made the day before. I filled up empty bags of compost I had around the house with all the soil. Yeah, I'm sure I'll find some places to put it somewhere. There is more garden beds projects I have, or flower beds I want to set up around the house, so they will be handy to carry around. And we are coming close to the end, so here is a little before and after, before making the steps and my big pile of mud, to this after, where yeah, it's just nice to see all the stone dried up, the earth all cleared from my little path. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you so much for watching, and for your comments and likes and subscribes. I really appreciate all of this, and I will see you in hopefully not as long if I get my van back in time. Until next time, take care.